It's like, how did this whole thing start? Well, here's what happened. Justin Baldoni was attached to Colleen Hoover's book, It Ends With Us. That's what we learned from this whole thing, because she sued him for sexual harassment. She wanted to build her brand, she being Blake Lively, and she wanted to be like, florally, rom-com, I'm Lily Bloom, and I work at a flower shop, get it? So Sony sided with her because she is Mrs. Ryan Reynolds, and Sony didn't want to piss off Blake Lively because they didn't want to piss off Ryan Reynolds.
Ryan Reynolds has spent years dazzling the world with his quick wit, sarcastic charm, and a seemingly endless reservoir of internet-friendly jokes. He's built a reputation on being the funny guy in Hollywood, the kind of star who can poke fun at himself and stay relatable even as his career skyrockets. But lately, rumors have surfaced that paint a starkly different picture.
When Blake Lively is harmed, Ryan Reynolds gets involved. What he was saying is, I didn't do anything wrong. Ryan Reynolds gargled my marbles, and here are the texts that shows just how much he loved me. And Ryan Reynolds, by all accounts, seems like a great guy. He is acting.
Stories of behind-the-scenes hostility, controlling behavior, and unsettling power plays. How could this contrast with everything we thought we knew about Hollywood's beloved jester? Today, we're venturing into that question, peeling back the layers to see if there's more, and maybe far less, behind the charismatic grin that made Reynolds a household name. For nearly a decade, Ryan Reynolds played the role of Hollywood's comedic sweetheart. Whether through charming appearances on talk shows or sly banter on social media, he effortlessly won people over. Viewers lapped up every joke and every self-deprecating meme. On the surface, it seemed like he had cracked the code for universal likability. He captured a growing audience who appreciated that one big star could keep it so real and approachable. Yet, fans and critics alike started noticing that much of his brand hinged on careful presentation. It wasn't just the social media marketing or a single box office hit. It was the sum of countless details that made Ryan seem like your hilarious best friend. In an industry where stars can wield enormous influence, Ryan Reynolds seemed to hold all the cards once Deadpool became a certified sensation. He wasn't just the lead actor. He was also involved in shaping the film's tone, marketing, and even reshoot decisions. At first, fans cheered on his dedication. He was seen as the passionate actor who fought tirelessly for the merc with a mouth to be done justice. But the more power he accumulated, the more chilling some of the stories became. One of the earliest bombshells was a report that Ryan forced a makeup artist to return from abroad for last-minute reshoots, allegedly threatening to ruin their career if they didn't comply.
I heard a story yesterday of a studio executive who was so frustrated with him when they were shooting Deadpool 2 because Ryan Reynolds had to do some reshoots for the movie. Ryan Reynolds threatened to fire the makeup artist off the rest of the film and the reshoots they had to do, and also said, if you don't come back and do my makeup for these reshoots, you will never work in Hollywood again. That's so gross and weird and manipulative.
Industry insiders were stunned by the intensity of the demand. Makeup artists come and go in film productions. It's part of the job. Yet here was a major star making borderline blackball threats, suggesting that anyone who displeased him might never work in Hollywood again. Even more jarring was the narrative around Tim Miller, the original director of Deadpool. Miller was instrumental in crafting the vibe that made the first film so beloved. Then, abruptly, he vanished from the sequel. Sources close to the situation paint a picture of constant clashes between the director and the star, with Ryan allegedly insisting on having the final say in every creative choice. Eventually, Tim Miller walked away, unwilling to battle Ryan's towering influence day in and day out. Then, there were co-stars like Morena Baccarin, who saw her role in Deadpool 2 dramatically reduced, and TJ Miller, who claimed Ryan's attitude on set was not just tough, it was genuinely mean. As these anecdotes piled up, a portrait emerged of a talented but domineering actor whose behind-the-scenes conduct clashed with his wisecracking, likable public persona. But the worst was yet to come for Ryan's brand. The new wave of scrutiny started prompting folks to look deeper, and that's when Marvel's reaction, or lack thereof, began to turn heads. Marvel has become notorious for swiftly shutting down rumors about their biggest stars. If an A-lister is central to their upcoming franchise plans, they'll usually stand by them with unwavering support. Yet in Ryan Reynolds' case, they've gone stone-cold silent. there have been no official statements dismissing swirling controversies, no press releases reaffirming Ryan's place as the unstoppable face of Deadpool in the MCU. Instead, fans and journalists alike are getting nothing but crickets. That silence has fueled wild speculation that Reynolds could be replaced, or at least overshadowed, by new talent. One name that keeps emerging is Justin Baldoni, better known for heartfelt roles far from the wry, irreverent style of Deadpool. The question, though, isn't whether Baldoni is a perfect fit or not. It's why Marvel seems unbothered by his possible involvement, let alone the endless gossip about Ryan's downfall. Could it be that the studio is preparing for a reality where the red-suited mercenary continues on without the man who popularized him on screen? Hollywood watchers will tell you this is classic damage control by omission. When studios sense a leading man is drifting into risky territory, they don't always stage a grand confrontation. They simply make plans for life after that. Star's departure, ensuring the franchise engine stays well-oiled and lucrative. And if Ryan's losing favor behind the scenes, Marvel has every reason to hedge its bets with an alternative who can slip into the spotlight, maybe not tomorrow, but soon enough if these controversies keep stacking up. But what about Ryan Reynolds' other ventures? After all, he's not just an actor, he's a businessman, an internet darling, and the face of multiple brands. That's where the stakes truly skyrocket. Ryan's likable image isn't just for show, it's the core capital behind his many business endeavors. From a successful gin brand to a mobile company, his public persona plays a huge role in driving sales and brand partnerships. People buy into Ryan Reynolds because they trust the guy who cracks jokes on Twitter, not the one rumored to threaten makeup artists or overshadow creative voices. As these controversies simmer, there's been an undercurrent of concern in marketing circles. Brands and sponsors quietly watch how fans react to negative headlines. If the tide turns strongly against Ryan, those same sponsors may jump ship or find ways to downplay his involvement. Rarely does an actor's entire empire hinge on their personal conduct, but in Reynolds' case, his comedic, trustworthy image is very much the product. Damage that, and every endorsement or entrepreneurial pursuit that depends on a squeaky clean persona becomes an open question. Meanwhile, fans, who once praised his every joke, are beginning to ask harder questions. Were we all fooled by a carefully packaged persona? Is the real Ryan the one who told the world jokes online, or the one who allegedly controls entire film sets with an iron grip? When public sentiment starts shifting like this, it can happen astonishingly fast. Hollywood's golden boy one day, tabloid target the next. Yet that leaves us with one major question. Can Ryan course correct before the industry makes the choice for him? Right now, Ryan Reynolds stands at a high-stakes crossroads. After years of being the unstoppable comedic force in Hollywood, he's facing an unprecedented level of scrutiny. Some might say a full-blown reckoning. Reports of controlling behavior, humiliating live interviews, and riffs with co-stars have started to overshadow his once untouchable brand. Hollywood is a place where stars can be made overnight, but they can just as quickly be cast aside. If Marvel truly is ready to move on, and if more people within the industry feel emboldened to share stories, Ryan could find himself on precarious footing. His once charmed path may be replaced by the same unforgiving cycle that saw other major names topple when controversy became too big to ignore. And yet, every scandal in Hollywood also carries the seed of redemption. If Ryan steps forward to address these rumors, or even makes real changes behind the scenes, there's a chance that fans could forgive him. People love a comeback story, especially if it's accompanied by genuine humility and accountability. The only question is whether Ryan has recognized the extent of the danger he's in, and if he's willing to set aside his ego for a shot at saving his career. For now, the ball is in his court. He can either defuse it or watch it erupt. The choice, as they say, is his. Thanks for watching. If you found yourself questioning everything you thought you knew about Ryan Reynolds, you're not alone. And if this entire situation teaches us anything, it's that a flawless public persona can hide a multitude of sins, or at least tensions waiting to explode. Hollywood isn't always about the stories on screen. Sometimes the most dramatic arcs unfold when the cameras stop rolling. Only time will tell if Ryan Reynolds will reclaim his starring role or fade quietly into the background as the industry moves on without him.